This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Sunday, October the 24th. Race number 7 at Keeneland. Let's throw up the field for the Grade 3 Dowager. Fillies and mares going 1.5 miles, 3 turns around the Keeneland turf course. And as always, a wide open, good betting race for these graded stakes at Keeneland. You can download free formulator past performances for the Dowager on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them, handicap along with us. Mike, the 5 luck money is your tepid 3-1 morning line favorite. She obviously can win a race like this. I've lost enough money betting her. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think anybody would be that surprised if she won this race. I think the real question is, do you really want to take a short price on her? She's definitely had her chances recently, Dan, and she just can't quite get the job done.
Now, she does have some tactical speed, and that's a very important trait in this race as we take a look at our Timeform US pace projector. It's the old gray bar. No speed whatsoever, and a horse expected to make the lead, Kelsey's Cross, stretching all the way out and maybe a little bit class compromised. I agree with Timeform US. I don't think there's going to be a lot of pace on. I'm not sure Kelsey's Cross will make the lead. Maybe it'll be the 9 Key Biscayne. Maybe it'll be Stretch Out Summer in Saratoga, but they can't be going very fast.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know necessarily if the 8 will make the lead, but she could. There isn't very much pace in this race. But, that just makes trips very important in here. And I didn't, necessarily think a horse, like the favorite Luck Money had to be that badly compromised. I mean, I think if they do go slow, she's going to be up close.
At first glance of the PPs, you wonder if the One English Affair really wants to go this far, but then you peruse the DRF formulator lifetimes, and you go back to the Dowager of 2018, where she was likely best, and she tried to go up the rail. She was steadied. She checked hard. Again, I thought she was best in that race. I think her best running, though, comes on soft to yielding turf, Mike, and with this pace scenario on firm ground, she could be in trouble.
Yeah, I sort of agree with all that stuff. I mean, I totally agree with your take on the Dowager back in 2018, where she was probably going to win if she could have got through. That was 3 years ago, however, and I don't know that her form since then, really points her out as a major player. I mean, she has that one race going back to last summer at Ellis Park over really soft turf where she won with a 99. Her other races don't really do a lot for me.
And that was, coincidentally, the last time she went third off a layoff line. She'll try that same angle again, but I do think she needs some give in the ground. I Hear You is the number 2, and the real question for I Hear You is twofold. One, is she good enough? She's going to be taking on stakes horses for the first time in her career. And 2, does she want to go this far? She does seem to like Keeneland, as evidenced by her most recent win 14 days ago. Let's watch I Hear You, who I thought got a very nice ride from Arad Ortiz, just sort of settled in mid-pack, eased out into the clear here, and has to work to get the job done. She will obviously have to improve in this spot, but I think stretching out, she can stay within range of the moderate pace, and I think she has enough pedigree maybe to last this distance.
Yeah, I mean, I can see her getting the right trip in this race, and I agree with you. That she has enough pedigree to handle the distance too. It's all a question of whether she can step up in class at this point. I guess it's a good sign that they're coming back quickly for this, Dan, to run her in this race just to see what happens. I would want a pretty big price on her.
I used the 3 Summer in Saratoga in my picks, and I wonder if maybe I used her too low. I thought she ran okay last time out at Kentucky Downs going 1 mile. She must have been 4-5 path all the way around the track. Really didn't have a chance, especially considering the quality of competition she was in against. Horses like Princess Grace and Dalika and Abscon, those are solid graded stakes types. Now the question for Summer in Saratoga is, how far does she want to go?
Yeah, I wonder about distance with her too, but I really like this horse. I like everything about her turf form. And I think if she can get the distance and work out some kind of a trip in there, I think she's a major play in this race. Like you, I want to use her in this race. And we'll see what kind of price she is too. I don't think I would take too short a price on her, but I think she's actually pretty good. And if she handles the distance, I think she can contend here.
In many ways, the 4 La Lune is the horse to beat. She is a group stakes winner in England going long. Her first start in North America was a rock solid effort at Kentucky Downs. Let's watch that race. The ladies marathon going 10.5 furlongs. We see La Lune in behind horses. I like the way that she was able to creep up on that long sweeping turn. She's in it with a chance, and she's going to come with a good run here to just miss. The trip seemed to work out. You see, she got a big split, but this distance might actually have been a little short for her.
Yeah, I thought she ran fine in here. I thought overall the trip really did work out. You're going to see her get in between horses right at the very end here, but she really has a shot at this and just can't get by Family Way, who came into that race in very good form. Nothing wrong with that performance. Obviously, it felt like she had taken steps forward in her first couple of starts back home in England before they shipped her over here. She ran well again last time. I'm sort of with you. I kind of feel like she's the horse to beat.
Luck Money again. I'm a big fan of hers. Maybe switching back to Rosario, who was aboard for a win at Keeneland last fall, will just get her over the top. But I'm not sure I can make excuses for her anymore. I could after her seasonal debut, the Searching Stakes, where they just gifted a good horse, blame Debbie the lead, and she had no chance the way that race was run. But then in the Delica race over soft going at Delaware, she looked like a winner turning into the stretch, and she couldn't get by. I'm not going to hold the Glens Falls against her. Maybe I won't hold the Kentucky Downs race against her, but that Delaware race, that's really sticking in my craw.
Yeah, I sort of agree with you. I didn't like that effort from her all that much either. I know she wound up finishing second. I didn't even think she ran the second best race there. Her Glens Falls, I guess she was never going to win that race, but it's not like, that was some kind of great performance. And I don't know, Dan, when I watched that most recent start of hers at Kentucky Downs, I don't know. I thought she had a perfectly good trip in that race and wasn't close to good enough.
Now, we talked about a couple of horses in here, English Affair most notably, that likes given the ground. I'm not sure that's the case with Micheline. First of all, the Jenny Wiley over Yield and Going was just not run to suit her. Juliet Foxtrot, a pretty good horse, was able to make an easy lead. And then in the race at Delaware, the Robert G. Dick Memorial, she caught soft ground and didn't run. I don't know where she is from a form standpoint, Mike. The Eatontown might have been too short. What happened to Kentucky Downs last time?
Yeah, I think it could be a real question of that maybe as a 4-year-old she just hasn't progressed at all, because her form obviously from her last 4 starts, none of them look very good. I'm with you in thinking that she just hates giving the ground. So the Jenny Wiley in the Delaware race, I'm just going to give her a pass for those. She didn't pick up her feet in either one of those 2 starts. I thought in the Eatontown, I just thought she got a really bad trip in that race. She got into some traffic early, heavy traffic into that first turn of the race, couldn't get the position she wanted and just got shuffled all the way back out of contention. And after that, she was just wide around the track. I gave her a pass for that one as well. I think that trip really worked against her. And, we just showed the stretch run of that La Lune race last time. That's the race Michelin was also in. I would say, go back and watch the replay of that because I understand what Joel Rosario was doing. He saved ground all the way. He was committed to the rail in the stretch. And he just didn't get through, Dan. I mean, by the time they were coming down to about the 8th pole, there was nowhere to go. He had to alter course and lose a little position there. He just couldn't recover from it. I don't think she ran that poorly last time.
The 7 Isha My Flower will have no problems with distance. All 4 of her lifetime wins have come at 12 furlongs. Now, here's the caveat. One of them was over a synthetic track in England, and the other 3 were against, I have no idea what, in Norway of all places. She ran 8th in the Kentucky Downs Ladies Marathon.
Right. Ran 8th without really ever landing a blow in that race. There were, a few horses also in that spot back in here who ran a lot better than she did. But listen, distance can be the great equalizer. She seems like she'll get it and she'll be a price.
Was a fan of Kelsey's Cross earlier in her career, multiple graded stakes placed. I'm not sure she has improved as she's gotten older. The distance, I don't think, is going to be an issue. And maybe if the Timeform US pace projector is right, she'll just sneak away to an early lead. And if she remembers what she used to be at a big price, she could take these a long way.
Yeah, I too once thought she had a lot of potential. I guess it's fair to say that, hasn't really worked out for her. I think I'm a little more concerned about the distance than it sounds like you are. At the end of the day, Dan, since she broke her maiden, she's got 3 wins, 2 allowance races and a restricted stakes race. She's run fine in some tougher spots, but I just felt like she was pretty hard to make in this race.
Key Biscayne, the nine's interesting. Second time Mike Maker. Let's watch the first start for Maker over the summer at Saratoga. Ran okay, up close to a solid pace, just facing a 1-9 shot named Pocket Square, who's going to run by everybody in the lane. Key Biscayne was game to get second over Bramble Bay. This horse's tactical speed, I think, needs to be put to good use. If I'm Tyler, I go right to the front.
Yeah, I think that would be a wise plan for them to adapt as well. We'll see what happens with her. I mean, she was a little underrated as a 3-year-old last year for a prior trainer, and actually, ran pretty well at some big prices and some major stakes races in New York. So we'll see if Maker can get her to improve. I didn't necessarily think she took a step forward for Maker last time, but maybe she'll do it here as they stretch her all the way out.
The 3-year-old Viburnum completes the field, eligible for a non-winners of 2 life, but coming off a good effort in the Dueling Grounds Oaks against fellow 3-year-old fillies. We'll take a look at that race. And again, she showed tactical speed. This is a wet turf course. She got up close to the pace. She is no match for the winner in here, but she slogs on over this very boggy ground to finish a solid second. She just needs to improve from a buyer's standpoint as she takes on some tough older horses.
Yeah, it just has an awful lot to find against this field. I mean, it's not the greatest field in the world, but it's certainly the toughest field that she's ever faced, and she just has to improve again.
It's a really interesting group as we see Viburnum finish second to Kentucky Downs. I'm not going to go with her. We take a look at our top picks. I'm looking for a horse, a fresh face perhaps. And I hear you is where I'm going to go. Yes, she got a good trip last time out against a weaker field. I do think the price will be right as she stretches out and steps up for the first time. Micheline's the class horse in this race. She has done it before against good horses. It's all about what kind of form she's in, but she's a playable price on that morning line, Mike.
Yeah, I would take that price if I can get it. And we'll just see. I'm going to take the positive view, Dan. I get anybody who doesn't like any of her last 4 races and says she can't run anymore. I'm not going to argue too hard with it, but I'm not totally convinced of that yet. I'm going to give her one more chance.
Competitive race of the day on Sunday. The Dowager at Keeneland might go 6-4-2-5. I go 2-4-5-3. Best of luck.